President Trump unleashing on Democrats' impeachment inquiry ahead of next week's public hearings. The president facing off with the media and covering a wide range of topics, going after the entire process, the whistleblower, and much more.
The whole thing is a scam. This is a scam by the Democrats to try and win an election. They shouldn't be having public hearings. This is a hoax. This is just like the Russian witch hunt. These Democrats are corrupt. Nancy Pelosi is a corrupt politician. When I released that call, all of a sudden everybody disappeared. The whistleblower is a disgrace to our country. His lawyer, who said the worst things possible 2 years ago, he should be sued, and maybe for treason. Adam Schiff is a corrupt politician that's not giving us due process, not giving us lawyers, and despite all that, we're kicking their ass.
Adam Schiff is under heavy criticism from GOP lawmakers. They're accusing the Intel chair of limiting the witnesses that they can call.
Every one of the witnesses that we put forward are going to be substantive, and it's going to lead back to the corruption of the Democrats and what they were doing in Ukraine. Not to mention whoever this whistleblower is and whoever he's connected to, we will be trying to ask those questions. And I think if they don't give us several witnesses, I don't see how this is going to have any credibility.
All right, Jesse, I don't know, where do you want to begin?
I'll tell you.
At the B block.
Leave it to the Democrats to make impeachment boring. This is about a transcript of a phone call with a country no one cares about. These are about transcripts from a deposition that we can't even watch on television. And what do the transcripts say? It's from the Undersecretary of Affairs for Energy Policy at the EU. These aren't household names. They aren't heavy hitters. Wake me up when the big dogs testify in public. The other thing is, no one can find Ukraine on the map. If you ask the American people anything about Ukraine, they don't know a thing about it. Americans care about a few countries. They care about Saudi Arabia, they care about Israel, they care about Russia, China, and Mexico. That's it. Ukraine doesn't rise to the level of a country that people care about. We're talking about a military aid package to a country that I guess needs help, but a lot of people don't really care that much about. If you turn on television, you see a reporter standing in Congress saying someone was hearing something from someone else who was concerned about a military aid package. It's absolutely not registering in the American people's brain because it's not a sexy scandal. Russia was sexy. There was intrigue. People had handcuffs on them. It was about an election. This has no intrigue whatsoever, and the Democrats have failed to deliver any sort of convincing narrative. Now, the Republicans, they can start hammering people when it becomes public. Maybe that's interesting when you can watch something on television. Right now, it's a faceless whistleblower. The only thing that I was concerned about all week about this story are the new memos that came out that showed when the prosecutor in Ukraine raided Burisma's offices and started confiscating all the Lamborghinis from the owner, that they hired a bunch of lobbyists that met with Kerry, they met with Biden's people and say, hey, guys, can you stop the corruption prosecution? And then Biden goes out on tape and brags about stopping the corruption prosecution. That's interesting to me. The other stuff, not so interesting.
Okay.
Can I say,
you seem pretty interested, and I would love to check your phone to see if Mom has texted.
No, but
some people do care about Ukraine.
Ding, ding,
yes,
ding.
but wait. What about, Canada? You don't care about Canada?
During the Olympics when there's hockey. But
when there's hockey.
Americans don't pay attention to Canada.
But Mexico got it.
Mexico is definitely a hot country.
Okay.
Did you want to say anything else more? I thought you were going to take it from
respond?
there.
I mean, Jesse went off. But anyway, listen. When I was watching the president, I was thinking to myself, boy, this is, to me, a prime example of moving the ball, because all along they said, we want an official inquiry. Have a vote. And then you have your public hearings. Why are you having all these hearings in the dark? Well, okay, let's have the... And he says now, hey, they shouldn't be having public hearings. And I think to myself, what's going on? I think this is like moving the ball, moving the goal line. It's Trump.
You want to move the ball if you want to win.
Yeah, but you want to move the goal line when the other team is approaching the win. I think it's so disjointed, Dana, that I think it's a tell that they, at least the president's very worried, and they don't have a Dana Perino in the White House right now. They need somebody on messaging.
No, but they don't need me. They have him. He is.
But I'm telling you, he doesn't have a coherent message. It's 1 minute, it's Schiff is a bad politician. Pelosi's a bad politician. The whistleblower's the issue. Jesse referred to the transcripts of the. Oh no! Now he says I'm going to put out more transcripts.
I don't think that's. I actually think it's working for them. I don't think they don't need anybody else because he's willing to go out there and do it.
I'm not going to lie. It's Friday. I've already checked out. Yeah. So what we're going to do here is we're going to do Greg's greatest hits. I happen to think that what you're saying is right. He is his own spokesperson, and there's nothing like it. When he's out in front of that helicopter, it's almost impossible for anybody to change the message that he's pushing.
Right.
And he's pushing it. I think it's more coherent than Juan might want to believe. But here's how this artificial impeachment was set up. 3 years ago, you see tweets vowing impeachment would happen. Yeah. You have a tweet admitting that CNN's going to help. Then Schiff coordinates with the whistleblower, who was basically a Democrat operative. Yep. And now you have him saying, well, Republicans, they have to justify the relevance of their witnesses. So he used in those tweets the word coup twice. And I remember very thoughtful people saying, you can't use the word coup on television. No. No one will take you seriously if you say coup. They're actually admitting it's a coup. So I want to get from the thoughtful conservatives, can I finally say coup now that it's a coup? Also, here's the other thing. People are still obsessed in the media with what ifs as opposed to what ares. It's my greatest hit. Trump is not above the law, but he's also not beneath the law. He should not be punished for things that he might be predicted to do by people who hate you, right? Imagine if Joy Behar could decide our fate, right? She could say, the 5 is going to do this and the 5 is going to do that, and we should investigate him. That's what's happening to him right now. His fate is being decided by people hypothesizing. Is that a word?
Yes.
Thank you. Hypothesizing what he might do, which he hasn't done. And it's done by people who are terrible at predicting things. None of these what-ifers, I just coined that.
What-ifers.
What these what-ifers... What if these what-ifers predicted? No, there's been no wars. There's been no stock market crash. There's been no 25th Amendment. 25th Amendment. Mm-hmm. There's nothing. If these what-ifers predicted the sun coming out tomorrow, the sun would explode in a fiery. But it is a fiery ball. in a non-fiery ball. How's that? Great.
You were going good. You were going good.
I think that I believe that Webster's will add what-ifers to the dictionary.
What the ifers?
Now you went over the line.
Now, Emily, you know, one of the things that happens before a hearing like this is you can imagine all the lawyers, all the staff that works for the congressional leadership, and all the lawyers who work for the people that had to get a lawyer because now they have to go testify in front of them. What are they going to do this weekend to really see if they can make it not boring, as Jesse was suggesting?
Hopefully, they will be doing as much research and thorough preparation as possible on both sides, anticipating the questions. I think it's really telling and kind of humorous that the attorney for the whistleblower who sent that cease and desist letter to the White House, how he literally was like, I mean, it was like theatrical. Anyone who is complicit in this vindictive campaign, action or inaction, morally and legally responsible. I mean, I feel like he would give anything to be the whistleblower himself. But I also think that the trailer for next week was the Kavanaugh hearings for the Democrats, in that their pattern is they're totally stoked for the opportunity to grandstand and say next week's going to be lit. But really, we're just going to hear the same things that already occurred in private testimony that was leaked out with no bombshells, even though they were telling us there were bombshells.
I'm trying to think of anybody in recent congressional testimony that has enhanced their reputation.
Well, Oliver North.
I was just going to say.
Well, I said in recent history.
Well, that's why I'm 70. We're in our 70s.
By the way, Dana, how come you didn't pick up on Emily saying lit?
Why? Because that's just like hip language.
That's very hip language.
Okay,
and Jesse, that is dramatic. It's going to be lit. That's next week. It's going to be lit.
I'm going to be lit.
They need some drama for sure.